What's good, you guys? You know who it is, man. It's your boy, Mr. Relentless Lex, and I'm back like I never left this mother. Yes, Sirski. All right. So, man, we have something shocking today, you guys, on the Nolan Wells case, right? So, this is the Tisa Tales channel. Shout out to Tisa Tales channel. The link will be inside the description if you want to watch the original video. All right. So, it says there were cameras on the island. Shocking new development promises Nolan justice. I want to say RIP to the King, Nolan, justice for him. It's a lot of twists and turns going on in this case. But we have Tisa Tells. She's going to give us some information on the cameras. Let's get it.
Hey guys, listen, new update, and this is truly breaking news. Forget everything you know. Forget what the government officials told you. Forget what the police told you. Forget what the boys' lawyers told you. Forget everything you know, because we have verifiable boots on the ground journalism about Horn Island, about the path of the boat, where they stopped, and now the curious missing evidence. What am I talking about? The cameras, the cameras, the cameras, the cameras. Not just on Horn Island, but every place that boat was rumored to stop, every GPS stop, it was monitored 24 hours.
Wow.
Don't believe me? Let's get into this boots on the ground journalism to show that the Nolan Wells case just got a huge leap forward. Big Trump, as far as we know, has subpoenaed all this. We'll talk about the way he may be getting pushback in Ocean Springs, but for right now, let's talk about the breaking news that there were cameras, not just on the dock, but everywhere. Let's go. Okay, so I want to start this off with Nerdy Pink Panda. She does a great job of mapping out the GPS coordinates. That the other boots on the ground journalism is going to blow up everybody's spot, all right? So listen to this. It's only 30 seconds, but you need to know and look carefully at the map to know where everything is, okay?
Girl's house that I will call Ava D. Right here in the yellow is where the party was at. You could almost perfectly plot out every dock that they stopped at on this little trip of theirs before they went to the boat dock.
Okay, there's Horn Island right there.
Okay, this is boots on the ground journalism. This is Bree, Jess Bree. She did God's work and went right into the heart of Ocean Springs, the town that sticks together, the town that doesn't let anybody mess with it. And the information she found, she said, let's go through Nolan Wells and the boys' alleged last moments on July 4th. Horn Island, Fort Bayou, and Lover's Lane. Pay attention to what she's saying, all right? Let's go. This is Horn Island.
Looks like there's a sailboat out there, maybe?
Okay.
It's okay in the water.
That's the island. That is how long it is. It is pretty long, guys.
Yeah.
That's the west end, or that's the east end. That's the west end, or that's the east end.
And this light.
Oh.
And then over here is going to be the west end, and this is the washing machine that they're talking about.
Hold on.
Water is pretty choppy today, but that is the island. There's some houses right there. The next place I'm going to take you to is over by...
So that's the island, and there are some houses, right? There are some houses that are super close to the island. However, all these houses that she's about to show you are multi-million state-of-the-art houses with state-of-the-art surveillance systems. But it doesn't stop there. Hold on, y'all.
Lover's Lane, so you guys can see how much housing and stores are over there that have possible footage. But yeah, let's get to the end of this pier. Wait a minute, you guys, there's fucking cameras on the fucking pavilion.
Not just this pavilion, but many people say on every pavilion there are cameras for public safety concerns, but also for security concerns. Let's not forget the people that own these multi-million-dollar houses. They are the high society of Ocean Springs. Ocean Springs is not a place without crime, either stealing boats, stealing things. I'm not saying it happens a lot, but you know how rich people are about their property. Well, I guess anybody about their property.
Yeah, facts.
If you come in through the docks, right, you can have boats and break into houses. You can steal, but you can also steal boats. You can steal equipment. Again, it is heavily monitored, not even to mention the flock cameras, but let's keep going.
And they can't even say they don't work because there's a fucking solar panel. Now, I know you see me watching you.
Now, sorry to pause. I just want to point out what she said. nobody can say those cameras do not work. Oh, it was a malfunction. Oh, electricity. Because there are solar panels next to each
Oh,
surveillance
wow.
camera that is
Yes.
angled to
Facts.
see every person walking up to the dock and
Facts.
also leaving the dock. This is not just this dock. This is reportedly every dock. But let's keep going.
And I know you see me watching me. There's literally cameras everywhere out here, y'all.
Everywhere.
Every fucking where. Okay, so I have now made it to Old Fort Bayou Pier where they pulled in.
Let's not forget, again, Old Fort Bayou Pier, where they pulled in.
To a stop. This is an oyster house right here, and then next to it is a fireworks stand. Now, I don't see any cameras here, but let me get in my car and I'll show you where there is a camera because I'm too fat to walk. For reference. What's that? Oh, what's that?
Another
Old Fort
camera.
Bayou boat ramp area. If they stopped in Old Fort Bayou, this is one of the areas they would have had to stop at. There is a camera aimed directly there.
This camera, guys, with a light. What is this, guys? Old Fort Bayou boat ramp. Okay, we are now over here. So that is how far the oyster house is. I want to show you guys something. Look at that fancy house over there. Y'all see the cameras? See the lights. I wonder if there's a camera over there. I'll have to go on the other side of that bridge and see what's going on. Now, where the ramp is, there is a drawbridge up there because this is a short bridge, so I'm sure there's cameras up there. They have to have cameras. I'm sure it's a state law.
Cameras, they would have had to go under the bridge. She is sure, and I think so too, in any public thing, they would have cameras.
Facts.
Why? Because it is a drawbridge. The drawbridge is drawn up. You would actually need the cameras just in case there was some type of accident or for safety purposes.
Facts.
I'll have to look it up. Now, this is where they would have come in at. Look at these fancy houses over here. That man walking his dog.
This is where they would have come in. You guys, these are multi-million dollar houses.
Maybe them?
Again, you would have security cameras aimed toward the water. A lot of people could pull up and do God knows what to the people inside. All right? You would usually, for a price, to have cameras.
Or maybe them?
Look at this.
Sorry. All right, let's go look at some more. We're going to walk on this side of the dock so you guys can get a better understanding of what we're looking at over here. Okay, we are on the other side of the dock. And I want you guys to take a look at this. That's a catfish house. They are definite to have cameras in there. Look at these houses. You can tell me none of these houses saw anything when they're next up to Lover's Lane, which one I'll point to you where Lover's Lane is.
The next stop is where they went to on Lover's Lane. Remember in the beginning when Pink Panther outlined where they said they dropped? This woman has gone to every place. And what do we see? Camera after camera after camera. Let's keep going.
Facts.
Yeah, my friends.
Whole lot of cameras out there.
And you're going to tell me that they ain't questioned. None of them houses. By the way, that's a restaurant. That's a restaurant. So they have even better view.
We see houses, we see restaurants, they all have security cameras, and it is a great view.
But they haven't questioned any of these motherfuckers who own these houses. Look at that. That's a historical home registered for the state of Mississippi. You know they have cameras. I'm just saying. Oh look, my friends found the cameras. Ain't that something?
We see cameras on the drawbridge. We see cameras everywhere.
All right, we're gonna get back on Lover's Lane. I just had to explore the little neighborhood they had to the side there. All right, this is back on Lover's Lane. So this is where one of them home people live. I'm not sure if it was a male or female. One of their shops was here on Lover's Lane. You're gonna tell me.
No, the houses. They're beautiful.
Not these houses. All right,
Let's go there.
Look at this.
There was a house over there that had the gate completely padded up. You couldn't see through it, so I can only assume it might have been the house. But yes, this is. Look at this.
Can we go there?
Yeah, baby. Water on every side with all these stunning houses.
No, we just go see.
I just had to show you all. Okay, now we are at the end of Lover's Lane. We're gonna go back up. You're gonna see all these fancy houses going over this direction. Zoomed out as much as I could. You get the idea. Look at that. Stunning.
Stunning.
Yeah. Right? And the biggest house had the most private gate. You'll see all these wrought iron gates, how they're just open, and the people are chill, and they don't care. Wait till you see this next one. It's quite interesting. And I bet you $1 million at these houses. My goodness. Well, I'm not going to stop to look at everyone, but let me put y'all up here. Okay. It's coming out.
Here it
Ready?
comes. Hold on.
Oh, you cannot see anything to this house.
This is
And
one of
they
the
have it so
houses
hidden.
on the
Look,
water.
every gate is concealed.
Y'all
Gates
ready for today?
concealed everything. You guys, this is a huge break in the Nolan Wells case. Even if the police did not subpoena this video footage, it has been less than a month. Ben Crump has sent out subpoena and preservation notices.
Oh, wow.
This includes security. The fact that they're sitting here wondering what could have happened on Nolan, what boats were involved, how many people are on the boats, when those kids pulled up to the pier. When they pulled up to the pier, each pier, whether they were going because, we're checking the boat, or whether they were dropping people off, or whether they were just floating by, there should be surveillance. There should be the surveillance of them going under the bridge. There should be, and again, this was in the afternoon. There should be surveillance of them going under the bridge. There should be surveillance of them going back. There should be surveillance of them on Lover's Lane. There should be surveillance on Fort Bayou, from restaurants, homes, private homes, public security cameras, on top of flock cameras. Let's not act like rich neighborhoods do not have flock cameras to catch thieves. They have $1 million boats, $100,000 cars. Yes, those trucks, Ford F-150s and stuff, actually do go up to 150,000, right? Hundreds of thousands, or at least tens of thousands, in cars, equipments, and God knows what else is in that house. Again, this changes everything. It has to be security footage. Now, the interesting thing is, will they get security footage? Again, will people cooperate? Now, with security footage, I think they keep it for somewhere between 30 and 90 days. I think it would be interesting if we saw that everybody erased their footage from July 4th, 5th, and 6th all around the water. But we have public security cameras, we have private home cameras, we have businesses and restaurants, and we have cameras that are on the bridges that they passed over. You guys, this is a break in the Nolan Wells case. Now, funny thing is, when they had all this footage, did they actually review it? Well, that depends on if you believe that the authorities are actually operating in the interest of the deceased, or whether they've made up their minds that it was an accidental drowning, and now they're doing their best to protect their family and friends from any criticism. Why would they do that? Well, listen to this little outline. Hold on, y'all.
That's what I was thinking.
Info drop. So first off, we remember these GPS coordinates that were plotted for us, remember? Those GPS coordinates were taken from Wyatt's boat, and they were plugged into Google Earth, and they developed a PowerPoint slide that we saw there that mapped out all of the points. So I decided to overlay those Google points on top of the points of the research that I'd already been doing. I discovered some interesting stuff, because if they were just overlaying it on Google Earth, it should have been easy as cake, right? Well, I cannot tell you how many hours I spent trying to perfectly overlay this. Like, look at the islands in the middle here. I get them lined up, and then other things won't match up. Like, you'll notice, like I said, these islands, look, they aren't moving, but everything else around it isn't working. So right away, my instincts are telling me that somebody manipulated this image to cover something up. Of course.
Now, why they would, we'll see, but let's continue.
Of course, that is alleged. I can't prove that, but, it's supposed to just overlay. So honestly, I just did the best I could, and I mostly just focused on the top half, trying to get the marina and the grandparents' house they went to all line.
Now, we saw just from Bree that she went along the path, obviously on the road, not water, and there are cameras every single where along the path that they passed under. You see the bridge down there, and also that they passed under, but also the docks that they pass. There are cameras. And I'm willing to bet, because those boats were not yachts that had under deck, everybody that they said we should be able to see from the time they left Horn Island, how many people were actually on the boat.
I know. So now we can really follow which way this boat was driving and the kind of stops it seemed to be making. And if you'll notice here, it goes right next to that marina that I was telling you guys about.
The marina have cameras. We saw them.
With the Marty McGrath, which is who, according to Katie, that she got a ride from. So they passed the marina, and as you can see, it juts out almost like it was pulling up to this dock. And then there's these two houses here, especially this house, where it
Cameras.
seems like the boat pulled into the docks there. Then it went all the way down here. There's a little like lock area here, so you have to go through here. And it went to the bridge. And
The bridge has cameras going and coming for public safety reasons.
I was like, why did they go all the way to the bridge to turn around? But it turns out right here is a big old fishing pier. Then right next to that is the Ocean Springs Yacht Club.
The yacht club is covered in cameras.
And a lot of these families are connected to the yacht club. Before I go on, I want to play a portion of this audio that's supposedly like a voicemail that has been going around. It has been authenticated, but it has important information because
Okay, so you guys, as you listen to this, please remember and keep in mind this has not been authenticated. But like she said, it does have information. Please do not take it for the truth of the matter asserted. We are looking more at the tone and I believe the emotional aspect of the call. Let's listen.
I'll be honest, it sounds genuine to me and it works with my data. So hold on.
But he was like, oh, I'm just going to go back with Katie. We'll be right behind y'all. We were all going to the same house, the same place. He was like, I'll be right behind y'all. Y'all go ahead without me. I'll see y'all. Like, I'm literally going to be right behind y'all, whatever. So, Wyatt and all them left because they were like, okay, you're just going to go with Katie. Well, then everybody got back in and we were all at Ava's house and
So first off, all of us were gonna go to the same place. I'm gonna go in with Katie, meaning Katie was supposed to be at that party with them. Or at least whoever Katie was with was supposed to be at that party, right? But that's not the important part. The important part is the name of the person who was throwing the party was Ava. Now, I found Ava. I'm not gonna put her name out there, but simple Google searches will
attention to
find
this.
this information. And I was able to basically just Google her name and find her address. And so the party was actually right in this yellow area. Again, I'm not gonna be like pointing out people's houses, but I found it. After they leave this pier that's right next to the yacht club, they go all the way back and then they hook around and they go right next to where the party is. And then that's when they finally go and take the boat out of the water. Now it seems to me like they were dropping people off, like, because look how it goes in a little bit, almost like it was pulling into this pier at the marina, like I suspected. And they were just making the rounds, dropping people off before the party. Now, her family and Wyatt's family, Warren's family, they're all connected. They're also part of the yacht club stuff. All of these rich families are super close, super connected. They're taking each other's kids on vacations, etc. Well, like just in May, there was a joint birthday party. In the background of this birthday party from the beginning of May, there's Warren's mom, there's his little brother, and right there in the background is the mayor of Ocean Springs, Bobby Cox. In fact, here's another picture of him from the party, just in case that profile view wasn't enough for you. Oh, and he was tagged in the picture. Oh, and remember Lieutenant Caron, the first person on the report that we see when
Lieutenant Caron was the one I believe got the first call and was investigating Nolan's disappearance. I believe.
Nolan's mom called him missing. As it turns out, someone that he's related to, I can't pinpoint exactly how the relation is, but their maiden name is the same as his last name. Yeah, turns out they have the same last name as who? The girl whose party it was. And I have confirmed that that woman is mutual friends of the mother of the girl who threw the party. And I'm gonna go ahead and just wild guess theory, this is alleged, but I'm gonna go ahead and guess that the reason they waited so long to tell the mom was they were waiting to make sure that he was on shift. This is why I'm thinking more and more that they brought Nolan back to the house. Everybody got their stories straight and stuff, and then they waited to tell Nolan's mom until he was going to be on his shift and taking that phone call. Which is probably why nobody was sent out to look for him that fucking night. That's why we don't have any footage of them going back to the grandparents' house up there. That's why no pictures from this supposed party ever came out.
That's
listen, nerdy pink panda, she own it.
It is an interesting theory. Super interesting theory.
Very interesting.
Again, we do not know what actually happened, but I feel like we're getting closer to truth. I feel like Nerdy Pink Panther's theory is really giving us something to think about. Again, if the tow call was planned, and if somebody was setting up an alibi, and if you had connections to the local law enforcement, and you're setting up an alibi, if you wait until 11 to notify the mom when you're connecting the law enforcement actually starts working, then that would be the perfect thing, because then they wouldn't go looking because everybody already knows what happens, and they would just tell the mom. And then the way the sheriff was like, oh yeah, it looks like an accidental drowning. Again, if they thought everybody was on the same page, and if it was just an accident that happened and there's no point in ruining these boys' lives, and things like that happen, and they agree, well, they would think it was perfect. The only thing, if this is what happened, because who knows, right? It could also be nothing. He could have just naturally drowned. But if this was the plan, then the CTO call, that CTO call, they literally outsmarted themselves, because the CTO call is the thing that chipped away at everybody's story and narrative. Again, nobody knows what happens. Everybody's trying to find out. But what do you think in the comments? Again, I'm just trying to find out, one, what happened to Nolan, and two, in the wrongful death suit, why did the police wait so long? What did Warren and them tell the police? And the police was like, oh, they're fine. How did Warren call somebody's mom and say they're missing, and then go to bed, not care, and not contact the mom again for any reason? How did that happen? What actually is going on? Again, we are talking about how someone passed away, and we're also talking about the wrongful death suit that's coming up, because in the wrongful death suit, it's not the point that anybody purposely hurt someone. It's, could people have done more? And if they did more, would that have prevented somebody from passing away?